on television, Stefan. And
oh, yeah?
So
you've anointed it, so now it's a thing.
Now it's not only been on radio, not only been through social media, now it's on TV. So I've got the trifecta. I'm trying to brand this game on Thursday as the G5 Super Bowl between UCF and Boise State. So it has all that glitz, all the glamour, all that standalone primetime appeal. The only game, and there are a lot of games on Thursday night.
Yes, there are.
The only game that really goes toe-to-toe with UCF Boise State from a national level is Ohio State and Minnesota. Now, the college football elitist out there is thinking, that's way more interesting.
No, it's not.
And big. It's bigger than UCF Boise State. But this game is far more interesting. It's different. It's unique. It's fresh. Ohio State, Minnesota, yawn, been there, done that.
Yeah.
It's a Big Ten matchup.
We know exactly who's winning that game, too. Unless Minnesota wins that game by 35 points, there's no excitement or intrigue to that Ohio State-Minnesota game. And I bet you the UCF Boise State game gets better ratings.
That's
I'm putting the money down.
One is on Fox. The other is on ESPN.
That's right.
I think it'll be close. I think I'm with you. I think UCF Boise State's going to do better.
I think so, too.
I think it'll be really, really close.
Yeah, it's going to be like 10 viewers, but it's going to work. It's going to win.
A difference of 10 households. The question is this the most exciting UCF season opener / home opener? So I'm going to count both of those in this discussion.
I appreciate that because home openers, there's not enough of those that would rank.
Well, in terms of season openers, the last few seasons, let me just run down the list for you, Stefan.
Yeah.
2020 FIU, and that game was postponed, so we're definitely going to throw that one at the bottom of the list. How about Florida A&M, FAMU on 2019? I was actually at that game, and I can tell you that the anticipation for it wasn't tremendous.
No, I doubt it.
2018 against UConn. That wasn't there, even though that was the civil conflict. So.
Yeah, that was the civil conflict. There was a little bit of buzz there, but it wasn't near what this is this year. 2017, an FIU game that actually happened. So you kind of get my point. Obviously, none of those really make any sort of debate. Let's highlight the good stuff. You have to go back to 2014 for the last season opener that felt like this is something palpable. It was Penn State. That's right. And it was in Ireland. Yes, it was. 26-24 is a loss from the UCF Knights. They were not supposed to be that competitive in that game. It was a really good outing for UCF. Justin Holman was the quarterback at the time for the Knights, if you remember those days. But that was a highly anticipated game. So it's kind of, I feel like this one, you can have a little battle there between those two. It was 2007 is the one to me. That's the one everybody talks about. That is, and that one was at the Bounce House. And that was us breaking in and christening the Bounce House in 2007. NC State week 1 on the road, followed by, and by the way, they won that game. So you're coming off a win against a Power 5 school. And then it's number 6 Texas. That's right. To town to open up the Bounce House. The first time ever UCF had a stadium right there on campus. I was at that game. The atmosphere was tremendous. It was one of the best I've ever been to. It was very hot. It was extremely hot. There was no water. And I was really, really drunk for about the first quarter and then really, really exhausted by quarter 2. That is the life of a college student watching a college football game. And with the excitement of it being the first time that a game had been on campus. So to me, that's the debate. You've got the Penn State one. It was in Ireland. If we're talking about games that opened up the season for fans in Orlando that could actually go to the game right here, the number of people that went to Ireland for that game, minuscule compared to what you have at the Bounce House in 2007, what you're going to have on Thursday night. So between those two, which one is more highly anticipated? Is it Boise State this year, or is it Texas in 2007? So when you first put this on our list of things to talk about, I was like, of course, this isn't the game. Like Texas is the game. It's absolutely the first one in the Bounce House, first year the stadium is on campus, first opportunity to actually get a full house in a game for UCF. But the truth of the matter is this game is a bigger game. It is a bigger deal, and it means more only because of where UCF has grown to in that short amount of time, from 2007 to where they are now. the leaps and bounds that UCF has made across the pantheon of college football. And this particular game being able to recertify UCF as a power in the top 25 in college football, in the realms of who deserves to be around the college football playoff conversation. UCF wins this game going forward and then runs the gamut through their season. They are locked back in, but it starts with this game. You've got a new coach in Gus Malzahn. You've got the redevelopment of a invigorating fan base. You've got students who haven't been able to go to games for a very long time. So you've got that kind of angst that's been building for so long to get students into the stadium. I really think that, unfortunately, because my original answer was going to be Texas, this game is the bigger game.
My answer is still Texas. And I don't take anything away from how big this game is on Thursday. This would be number 2 on my list for reference, and that's why it's so debatable in the first place. I think one of the things that holds it back for me, and I hate to dampen the discussion with a word that we're all sick of over the last year and a half. I think COVID does take away from the excitement of this, because this should be something where we're all trying to figure out how in the world can I grab tickets to this game. They're impossible to find. This game is going to have incredible attendance. I'm not worried about that. But in terms of it being something that, even though there's 40,000 in attendance, it still feels exclusive because everybody wants to go, but only some can.
Yeah.
I don't think that exists today. There are very few teams around the country, college or pro, that are creating that level of excitement. The Bucs being one of them, but they just won a Super Bowl and have Tom Brady. That's how high the bar is. This game is highly anticipated, but we still have the dark cloud of not being sure if being around thousands of people is a good idea. Now, some people will push through and do it anyway.
I was going to say, we are in Florida. So.
I get it. And for some people, it doesn't matter, and they're going to be excited about it. But if we're talking about sheer enthusiasm with nothing holding us back,
right.
That was us living a good life in 2007 that we all longed to get back to. And that was also the first time you could walk into a stadium that was on campus, going up against a school. I know this Boise State matchup is big. It's the G5 Super Bowl. It's always bigger when you're taking on a big power and one that is currently nationally ranked. Jamal Charles was on that Texas team. That was a damn good team that UCF was going up against. So that one was just bigger. It was a bigger moment, and we didn't have the dark cloud of COVID hanging over our head. And for that reason, Texas is the answer, but it is close.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but if UCF comes in and wins this game by 30, 40 points, I don't know how then you don't shift your answer to say this was a bigger game for UCF.
But that's not the question is anticipation. It's not even so much about what happens on the field. It's what happens leading up to the point of us getting to kickoff. And in that moment in 2007, it felt like there was more anticipation for kickoff than what we have this year.
Well, I will be there on Thursday, and I'll let you know what it all looks, sounds, and smells like while I'm a mascot.